Hello everyone, welcome to Yuppie Guppy. This is week 6B on a Thursday, and today is May 22nd. So today I'm just going to talk about, some of the things that's going on, and yeah. So today my dad's still in the hospital. I hope he comes out next week, but one of my friends that I ran into while I was at the gym mentioned that they had some coworker that they're working with, um, who has been out for a long time, and they also had pancreatitis. And he has said that they were gone for like a whole month. And my dad is in the hospital with the same condition, I guess, and he's pretty much like has been out for like about a month. Like it's about 3 weeks now, and I think next week would be the fourth if he has to stay any longer. But hopefully he'll be out soon. He is eating Whole Foods now, I think. Maybe not a lot, but he definitely is eating a little bit, which is good. And, all signs are showing that he's recovering, and that's all that matters. And hopefully, whenever he's fully recovered, they can do the procedures and the surgery and get him back to coming home and enjoying the life that God has made. Yesterday, I had youth group on Wednesdays, and I mentioned that I had ran into one of my friends in the gym, and I invited him to come over tomorrow for youth group, and we have like a little friend group, I guess, of like four guys, me plus three other people, and they're my high school friends, so we kind of like for some reason we kind of stuck to each other when we all graduated, and that's really cool. They're like, I guess, my best friends since they stuck with me for so long, and each other. But two of them were back in the hometown, back in Houston, and so when I invited him, we invited the other, and they both came with me to the youth group, which was really fun. To me, I enjoy it. I like to see new people like experience kind of like what I experienced in a way, where I got to go, um, with like where I got to go and meet all these new people that were very kind and very serious and also very fun to be around. So I like enjoyed, seeing that. And in the end, they really liked it. I think my friends really liked it. They had a lot of good things to say about it. And it made me feel really good. I'm sure it made, the youth leaders and the people there feel very good. And I hope they come again. If not, it's okay. It's up to them. I don't try to push anyone. They have their own life. They're busy, or if they want to come, they can. But yeah, so it made me really happy that they came. The lesson for that day, I don't have my Bible next to me right now, but this whole month was about worship, and they just did a continuation about it, went into more detail. Um, and yeah, I kind of feel like I already know enough or a lot about worship and about music, so it kind of felt like I was like, I already know. So it was a good time. I guess I could say like reminder of the things that we learned, because the month is almost over, and next Wednesday we're gonna all get together, all four of the youth groups, and they think it's like worship night where they're gonna like, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been to it. Everything's new to me, but it's fun, and I'm excited to worship God wholeheartedly, because sometimes I be doing halfway where I'm like, I put my hands up, but I don't know. Uh, and then most of the time I do worship wholeheartedly, but I'm a little shy sometimes, especially with like other people I don't really know. But yeah, and I'd rather worship God when no one's around me. So worshiping around with other people is a little intimidating for me. I know it is for other people too, but eventually I'm not gonna care, and I'm just gonna worship God because He's amazing. He deserves all the glory. So when that day comes, it'll come eventually. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is like a bit about who I am, I guess, because a lot of times, a lot of my podcast episodes, I'm just talking, rambling, whatever comes to my mind. And the biggest thing I want you guys to know is I am big on speculation and big on intuition, and I can be very blunt. So, like for example, I was thinking about that podcast episode I talked about the film festival. I think it was the film festival circuit, I think that's what it's called. And a lot, or when I mention things, I do have like negative feedback, but that's just like that's just my speculation. Like, I'm not doing like the deep research, okay? Like, I don't know. I'm not that. This is just like I'm following my intuition. Like, I'm able to kind of tell just on the vibe and just on like what's going on. Like that is just intuition, guys, and speculation. I like to sometimes think like, okay, let me figure it out. But the truth is, I don't know exactly what's going on in other people's lives, especially people I don't really know. I just kind of guess. My observation skills take the lead, and I am very blunt. So whatever I feel like is going on, I kind of just say it out, and I don't know. I could be wrong. So take everything I say about others. But you should always, as a person, like, don't believe rumors, like, don't believe everything. Like, if you really want to know the truth, like, go and figure out yourself. I'm just telling you what I thought and then what I believe, about my experiences at film festivals and stuff like that. But if for me, like, I would personally like to maybe give him an interview and be like, oh, how did you start the film festival? How's this going? Like, blah, 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 blah. I was just going off of speculation, or not speculation, but more intuition and observation. Because I was watching, I was learning about the people there, and you can tell a lot just by watching, guys. Like, you can tell a lot. But also you can't unless you get to really know them, and sometimes people lie. Like, it's a lot with life. So, for me, all I wanted to say is I don't do a whole lot of research. When I talk about the experiences I have, I just tell you about how I felt, the intuition, observations, and maybe some speculation, just like being like, oh, maybe this, maybe that. But you guys should be able to tell that I obviously didn't go and interview this person or interview the film festival or did my research or anything like that. I'm just talking about what I was able to get from the experience I had, and that's it. Okay. Hopefully that's not too much, because a lot of times I'd be worried like that I'm bashing someone or making them like look bad, and I'm not trying to. I'm just a very honest person. That's why I say I'm blunt, and a lot of people don't really like that. That's why people think sometimes I'm annoying, because I could talk for days. I don't have like sometimes I say too much, like where I talk about a lot of personal things, and to me, like, my thing is, like, I'm very personal, but I'm also like, I let everyone know, like, this is who I am. Like, I have nothing to hide. I don't really like secrets. You can be like, oh, you can tell me things and be like, oh, don't tell anyone, and I won't tell anyone. But like, the truth is like the truth. Like, if you tell me a secret that you killed someone, and I go off into like a world and someone's like asking questions, and I'd be like, yeah, they told me they killed someone. Like, I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? It's the truth. Like, I mean, they're a murderer. Don't kill people. Like, just don't do that. So if you're trying to keep a secret and it's bad, like, I mean, why are you doing it in the first place? Don't do something bad. Like, I'm not. I mean, sometimes people do something wrong, and maybe they have, repented, or like, they solved it. After that, then it's no big deal. I move on. But I am like, I'm very observational. I do like talking about personal things, especially because it brings, people closer together. And, it tells me the truth about someone. Like, that's the biggest way to get to understand or know someone, is when you talk about their life, you talk about, how they feel about certain things, and you get to know what kind of character they are, who they are. And, you get the truth. And, that's how you make friends, low-key. Like, that's how you make friends. So you gotta be able to open up a little bit. And, yeah. And sadly, with me, as you get to know me, I talk about everything. Like, I'm not afraid or shy or embarrassed. Sometimes I could be embarrassed, but that's just in the moment. After the moments pass, I will still tell you, like, the embarrassing thing about me or anything. Because I'm not afraid of that. People can judge me. People judge people all the time. Like, hello. You live, like, everyone is judging. Why are you afraid? I don't want people to be afraid to be judged. Like, that's the worst thing ever. Like, no, like, yes, people have to all go to the restroom and wipe their butts. Like, if everyone has to do that, then what are you afraid of being judged? Like, that's pretty embarrassing. Everyone has to, like, clean themselves, It's like, it's part of life. Like, just be yourself. Don't worry. Like, the only thing to worry about is when you commit a crime, because that's not good, That's what sin is for. When you're sinning, like, that's when you start to worry, because it does ruin your life. It does make your life, you start to suffer. So then that's when you can be like, oh, I'm going through this, and hopefully you confide into someone you trust, and they can be there to help you. Um, but yeah, sometimes I say too much. I talk about, I don't mean to be like a gossip, but sometimes I talk about other people and stuff like that. And most of the time, when I do, is more to, kind of like if I know someone's going through something, if I mention it, I only mention it mainly because someone asked. If someone asks, I either decide, okay, do they want it to be kept a secret or do I not? So then I decide, and I'd be like, oh, they don't want to talk about it, and then move on. But most of the time, if no one's told me it's a secret, then I'm gonna be like, let me just tell you. But if I do mention someone who's going through something to somebody else, it's more of me asking if you can help, because if I see someone, because there's sometimes I'm not able to help them, and they might. For example, this is a good example. When me, my sister, and my cousin went to a trip in Austin for a film festival, there was these two girls that looked not okay. They were in corners of the room. One of them was crying on the floor. The other one was they had their back on the corner. And I did not want to go up to them because I'm a man. I feel like a woman should go up, and I don't want them to think that, anything of me. So I told me and my cousin, I asked my sister, hey, I saw these girls, they did not look like they were okay. Do you want to go check on them or something? And long story short, whatever. So that's the same thing as me. That's the same thing as me bringing up someone else's personal issues, I guess, in front of others, because I think that they would be able to help them. That's it. I know people can hate me for it. I know someone could be like, oh, how dare you? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help. And if not, then you can suffer by yourself. I don't mean to be mean, but I'm just, if you talk to me, you better be telling the truth, okay? That, and, I'm always going to try to help you. I always want you to be around people who are good and kind, so that's just what I'm going to say, because, sure, that'll get me in trouble. that's just who I am. Just expect it. This is me warning you. If you tell me something that you're going through, and if you don't tell me not to tell anyone, then I'm gonna be thinking about it. And if I see someone that I think that can help, or someone that wants to help, then I'm gonna share it, and I can see hopefully that will help more than me staying quiet. You know what I'm talking about? I hope you guys understand. I'm not really a gossip. It's really just me. I just think about things, and someone's going through something, the first thing you want to do is help, not stay quiet. That's crazy. I think about it right now. The reason why I just said that's crazy is because a lot of times people want you to be quiet. No. I have a lot of people, I know a lot of people who want to live. Oops. Potential scam, guys. I get that a lot. I know a lot of people who want to who I guess are very anxious or something, but they want to live a quiet, or they want to live by themselves, right? They want to isolate themselves from everyone, which is, I guess, okay. As long as they're doing okay, then it's no problem. But when you start noticing that there's problems, it's a lot of times their excuse is, it's none of your business, blah blah blah. But it's no, it is my business. First off, if you're part of the family, it's my business. If you're my friend, it's my business. That's just life. That's not, it makes no sense. If you're struggling, don't hide away. You have friends for a reason to help you, and if they're good friends, they will help you. If they're bad friends, they'll pretend you're fine. No, if you're not fine, they will come and help you. They will come and assist you. If you're poor, say you're out there trying to survive, your friend will come and at least have food with you or something, or help you in some way. But that's just something that's just who I am. A lot of people like to stick to themselves. I like to be in everyone's business, I guess, and just be out and about. I'm very loud. I'm everyone's threat because I'm just loud. And yeah, mostly the people who are doing bad things. You're doing something bad, don't do anything bad around me, guys. I will get you. Nah, I'm just kidding. But the main reason why I brought this up is really just because I do care a lot about a lot of people. I do care a lot. So if someone's going through something, I will do everything I can to help them, whether you want the help or not. So yeah, it's better to have friends like that who want to help you than pretend that you're doing okay. Like that's just like why? No, it bothers me. Like that bothers me a lot. Whenever you see someone struggling and they're just not doing okay, and then you as a friend pretend that they don't need help, like they don't, and like come on, no, you should be there for them. And obviously if they tell you like to leave me alone, then leave them alone. Like I'm not the kind of person who's gonna be all up in their business when they don't want you to. Like I'll leave them alone. It's fine, but it's just good to like share, like not share, but like I hope you get what I mean. I don't know. I'm kind of like blanking out right now because I forgot what I was going with this, but basically I'm not one to be like a bystander, like one to just be quiet. Okay, so if there's any problems, I will help you if you ask for it. If not, and if you don't want it, like just tell me. Like just be like I don't like it, and I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. I won't talk about it again. Like it's up to you, or whatever. But even if you do say that, I'll find another way to help you. Like if that's not the way, I'll find another way. There's always a way to, be there for someone and stuff like that. Yeah, and I just don't like it when people say like, "Oh, it's just who I am." Okay, like I just don't like it when people tell me like it's none of your business or like stay out of it or whatever, and I'm just like, I don't know, like for example, that's my sister or that's my mom or that's my cousin or that's my best friend from high school. Like how can that not be my business? Like I'm gonna stand by my friend's side. I'm gonna help them if they need help. That's it. Like that's just the truth. So you can't tell me it's none of my business, because it is. And also, like, we live in the same earth. We live on the same world. At this point, everything is my business. Y'all be making everything your business anyways. You go on social media, everyone be putting out the news. That's everyone's business. Like, what is that? Like, at this point, you can't tell me it's none of my business. You cannot tell me anything is none of my business. If you put it somewhere, if you do something, it's my business. If I see you do something, it's in my life, it's my business. Like, I'm sorry, I'm so passionate about this because it's so true. Like people be acting like they be making other people feel bad for being like, oh, it's not your business. Like why you're so. But the truth is, if you're acting like this in front of me, it's my business. If you're doing this, if you're saying something in front of someone, it's my business. Especially if I'm there. If I get word of it, if any of it comes to me in my direction, it's my business. Like anything that pops into my life, it is my business. So good luck trying to tell me it's not your business, because the truth is you can't tell me it's not my business. You can't. It's impossible, especially in the world we live today, where we live in social media, where everything is everyone's business. They be putting out, you put a nasty picture of yourself, you just made your nude body everyone's business. Okay, if it's on the internet, if you put your boobs out and you flash it, or I don't know, for guys, your abs, or I guess down there, if you put that out there in the internet, it's everyone's business. So low key, like, what are you gonna do? If you just gotta be accept it. Because if you're gonna go out there and put stuff out there like that, then you have to accept that that's just what you're doing. Like that, and you're gonna like have to deal with people who like it and people who don't like it. That's the truth. So good luck. And yeah, you can't say nothing's none of your business, because you become a celebrity, everything's everyone's business. Or even if you're not a celebrity, like I'm just telling you, like you live on this earth. Your business is your neighbor's business. If someone died in your backyard, your neighbor is gonna look over and be like, they're gonna call 911. Like I'm just telling you, like you cannot tell me it's not your business. I'm sorry. This has nothing to do with anything that's going on in my life right now. It's just something that popped into my brain. Cause like even when I was in college, like I remember people being like, oh, bro, you see? I'm bringing back stuff from college. I'm such a drama maker. No, I'm not even drama. It's just the truth. I remember there was something going on and they were like, it's none of your business or whatever. I'm like, bro, no. Yes, it is. If I notice that. That's funny. I just thought about that right now. I wasn't even thinking about that. But it just came into my head where there was like this drama in college where they were like, this is not, you shouldn't have told them this or that. And I'd be like, I can tell anyone I want whatever I want. Excuse me, first off. And the other thing is like, if I notice that you guys are treating someone badly, I'm going to tell them. No matter what. Even if you're my friend. I'm going to be like, you're treating them bad. Like, why? Like, that's just like terrible. And then I'm gonna go and tell them that, like, yeah, they're talk behind your back. I'm sorry. I like real friends, not fake friends. So that's all I'm gonna say. That reminded me of that. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking about other things. Cause the reason why I brought this up actually is because yesterday, I bring it up. I noticed I was talking a lot about just life and like other people, and I started to feel bad because I was like, oh, maybe I'm being a gossip, or maybe I'm talking too much, like, or like I would tell myself that I'm over talking or oversharing things, and that to me like made me worry. Like I went home, I was like, oh my gosh, was I talking too much about other people's personal issues? Like I was feeling worried. So obviously when I feel like that, I was asking God, like, God, Lord, like, forgive me if I overstepped, if I said too much about someone else's lives or something that's too personal. But I slept over it. I woke up today and I was like, no, everyone's business is everyone's business, and that is the truth. That is it. The end. And I feel a lot better now. I'm not worried about it. But I do care about other people's feelings. So if someone does feel upset about what I said, I'm gonna own up to it and be like, yeah, I'm sorry if I made you feel this way. But the truth is the truth, and that is all I'm gonna say. Okay, that's it. Like, the truth is the truth. I love you. I take care of you. But like, if you tell me something and it's what you said, I'm gonna say that you said it. Like, I am so real. All you fakes, you can't be around me, bro. You can't be fake around me. I catch that so easy. I'm observational. I catch you fake so fast. Like, boom. I just sniped you right there. I just saw you acting fake, and it won't slide. My family's so real. My friends are real, and that's all I'm gonna say. I catch you doing something wrong, I'll be like, what's up? What's going on? Let's talk about it. And then we'll talk about it. So, that's just the truth. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. That was kind of fun to talk about. I liked it. Okay. So, the next thing I'm going to talk about is... Oh, okay. So, I was planning to write down a summary of all the books I plan to make, and be really intentional with it, because I was writing about when someone asks me about what I'm working on, I'm like, oh, because I haven't put the time to really write like a summary or like a log line. You know what I'm talking about? When like a short sentence explaining what it is I'm doing. And the reason why was because I just really wanted to get the book done, so I wouldn't think about it. But nowadays people are asking more about like what I'm doing, and I want to have something more prepared. And when I was coming up with the summary, I was struggling because this is where I learned a lot about life and God and stuff like that. Where I realized a lot of the times when I was working on this book or any of the stories or anything I've worked on in my life, I never put God first in it, really. Like, I know, like, a lot of times, like, sorry, it was just a little string on my sock. I gotta pull it out. I'll be working on things, and, a lot of times I forget that God's there, and I just start coming up with, like, oh, this would be crazy, this is a good story, and then we come up with that, like, I love daydreaming, okay? So I come up with stories on the daily, and for me, like... whenever I'm trying to get, I think I mentioned this before, but I really want to get used to praying and asking God to guide me whenever I write these books, because I really want these books to be based on, His words. I want it to be coming from a Christian person, someone who really obeys God and who's, trying his best to obey God, and, who wants a really strong relationship with Him. So, for me, when I was coming up with the summary for the first book I was writing, I was like, man, I can't even do it, because I realized that the whole time I've been writing, I have not been putting, God first. I've been, putting God on the side. I'll make up the character and then be like, okay, God, wait, I'll like figure out how I can add God to it. Whereas now I should really be putting God like 100% first, and that way, I'm making these stories with more intention. So the good thing is, like, now that I'm writing down the summaries of each of these stories, I get to really be intentional about it. So now whenever I come to like the first like 4 books, or I have a lot of stories that I really want to do, so I'm gonna get them done. But when I come up to the first one, now I can be like, okay, let me think God first. What does God want me to do about this book? And what does God want me to do about this book? And what does He want me to do about this book? And that really helps me be more intentional about the goal. Like, everything you do should have a purpose. Everything you do should be intentional. It shouldn't just be like, I did it for fun. Which was me back then. That's how I lived my life, to be honest. I did whatever I wanted. I made Cherry Pie Die, which is a film I just made for fun. And it's good. There's some meaning into it, like courage, I guess, for the little cherry to be courageous, and that even you can battle your giants or whatever and win. It's a simple, like, David versus Goliath, I guess, story, but in like a weird cherry gothic like vibe story. But even that, like, I think it's good. It's okay. But I want to do something about God so bad. Like, I want God to be in the midst of it so bad, because I want Him to be part of my life. And if He's gonna be part of my life, He's gonna be part of everything. So good luck. Everything I do right now is to be about God. Like, good luck. That's just, I'm gonna say. So when I was doing that, I prayed and I was like, God, guide me. What should I do? And the first thing that He led me to do was read Revelations, the book of Revelations in the Bible. And, I feel like the reason why God wanted me to do that was because a lot of the stories I'm writing is about the future. And I will tell you, I did, let me see how it opened. Well, I don't want to jump across into something else. But, the book of Revelations is about the end times, mostly about the end times. It's about the vision that John has about Jesus. Jesus comes into his vision and tells him to write down these things that are about the future, or even just things. And it's really interesting. It's actually, I will say it is my favorite book. The book of Revelation is my favorite book, and that's just because I love apocalypse vibes. Like, I just want to be there. I want to be there when Jesus comes down. I want to be there on the rapture. Like, I want to go, whoo, I want to fly. Like, I just want to be there. Like, that just sounds exciting. And I mean, I guess, I don't know if we're going to be able to witness it when we pass away. I don't know when it's coming. The truth is, no one knows when the rapture is coming, or when the second coming of Jesus Christ is coming. It's a mystery. He can come whenever He wants. So that's why it always tells us to be on guard, because He can really come whenever He wants. And I people like to speculate and be like, oh, He's coming soon. Like, everyone thinks He's coming soon. But then sometimes, I'm like, oh, I don't think so. I think He might be coming, like, after I die, low key. Like, I think He's going to come after I die. But it's not good to think that way, at least for me, because, when you start thinking that way, you start thinking, oh, I have all the time in the world to sin and to repent and come back to God. But that's not the way you should think, because He can literally come like a thief in the night. It says it in the Bible, like a thief in the night, for real, that He'll come and, like, surprise you. And I don't want to be surprised, okay? I'm not about that. I'm trying to go to heaven. I don't know about y'all, so that's the truth. And going to heaven is, like, so nice. Like, even trying to go to heaven, that's all, like, Christians are trying. If you're a believer in Jesus Christ, all you gotta do is say that He's your Lord and God, and then try to obey His word, and then that's it. The whole point is, like, you want to go to heaven. That is literally the whole goal. That's, like, one of our main purpose. God has other purpose for you too, but our main purpose that everyone has is to accept God as our God, like, to follow Him and to obey Him. That's our purpose. That's our main purpose. The other purpose is, like, other things. Like, for me, like, I feel like He has put in my heart in another purpose to, write these stories, to be an animator, and to, glorify God in all of those works. So for me, that's what I'm doing. And yeah, so anyways, I'm Rapture Gang number one. I want to be part of the rapture, and if not, then I'll pass away. And we are all part of the rapture, because when the rapture comes, first He will ascend all those who pass. So if I die, I mean, I guess before He comes, then I'll be one of the first to ascend, or we all will, or whoever. And then the people who are still on the earth will ascend after. I think that's what it said in the Bible. I'm not 100%. I forget. But I'm pretty sure it is what it said, because I read Revelations like 2 days ago. So I think I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you guys can double check. Read it. Read the book of Revelations, guys. That is my favorite. One of my friends told me yesterday that their favorite book was the book of Job, and that is another amazing book. the Book of Job and the Book of Revelations, they're actually one of my two top favorites. I do think that Revelations is my favorite, 100%. I love the mystery, God and His mystery. You know, the Bible is the most mysterious thing in the world, and I love it. I love a good mystery. That is the one thing that will get me in tune. Like, all of my stories I'm writing has a bunch of mystery. It is all a mystery book. It is 100% mystery, and you know, I love mystery so much. Okay, it's just like, if there's no mystery, I'm like bored, low key. Not really. If it's funny, then it makes up for the mystery. Like, if I love a good comedy, but mystery, take me all the way. Mystery and comedy, even better. Well, it depends, as long as it's not corny. But it's up to you. Everyone judges in their own way. But anyways, so I reread the Book of Revelations, and you know, whenever I was rereading it, it really taught me or showed me that I have a lot of research to do. You know, yes, I read the whole Bible. But then again, I didn't really take notes. So for me, you know, now's the time for me to take notes, and for me to look up scriptures that, like, I need to learn about, like, for me, because I have a bunch of books of stories, and I want it to be as related to the Bible as possible, because I want in my stories for there to be the Bible. I want Jesus to, I guess, exist in my story. Even though it is fantasy, like, even though it is not, I want it to be fantasy so it could be entertaining to watch. For it to bring in other viewers who are just interested in, like, what is going on. Like, this power is crazy. So it's a little complicated because I want it to be correct with the Bible, but also adding something for fun. And hopefully God sees what I'm trying to do. So far, He hasn't told me that it's bad, that, like, you know, making characters have certain powers is bad. But if He does, you know, change His mind or tells me, like, you know, this is not good, you know, you need to do something else, then I will. But so far, I think he right now, we're on the same page. We're working together, putting God first, and that's all that matters. And I have to do research on, like, I need to do research on angels and more about the spiritual realm, you know, the world we can't see, the supernatural. Like, I need to do research on that. And then definitely on angels and demons a bit more. And then the fruits of God, I guess sin. I mean, I did a lot of research on sin. That's probably the biggest research I've done because I'm always trying to be better. I'm trying to be a better person. So that's I know a lot about sin. So I talk about that a lot. But, you know, more about the spiritual world and the characters in the Bible. You know, I want the stories that I've made takes place, like, after Jesus Christ. So it's supposed to feel like where we are now, where we are in between, like, after the Bible's been written. And we're waiting for the second coming of Christ. Like, that's where all my stories take place. And, you know, it's supposed to be relatable to young adults, and then hopefully to adults too, and even teenagers or people growing up. And if you're a kid, like, go ahead, read it, because I ain't putting anything in there that you should not be reading, unlike others. But it'll be good for all people to read, because hopefully it gives you a good idea of what being a Christian is really like. You know, I want to put the truth about Christians. All of it. You know, there's bad Christians and good Christians. People who say they're Christian and they do bad things. And, you know, there's hope for them to come back, too. Like, it is the truth about Christianity is, like, people say they're Christians, and the truth is that it's because they love God, or they say that God is Lord. But that doesn't control their actions. You can love God and still commit bad things. You can still do evil, okay? That's 100% true. So the only thing to know is that if you're a Christian, just watch them, the way they behave, you know, if they really change their life to follow God. So, yeah, I'm going to be sharing all about that stuff in the books. I'm going to be sharing true life things in the books. You know, I'm taking a lot of things I experienced, a lot of things that other people have experienced. I've interviewed some people and putting it all in the books or some things, and, like, you know, changing it up a little bit. I'm not going to put people's whole life stories in the books, but, you know, using other experiences to create stories that go along with the book so it feels more real, because I want it to be realistic. And yeah, so the truth is I have to do more research. That's what I'm going to do after this podcast, or after I upload everything. I haven't uploaded anything yet. Like, I just don't have time. I've been so busy. But I plan to right now upload everything on all my social media with my podcast and catch everyone up to date, because no one has seen the videos yet. And yeah. And so far, you know, I told you guys my goal was to stick to schedule. I have not been able to, but, you know, I've been getting up at 5 a.m. for morning prayer and then falling back asleep. And, you know, I've been getting up earlier than normal, So, today I got up at like 9, 10-ish, which is really good. Normally I get up at 11, 12-ish, okay? So there's progress. I'm happy with that. I'm still getting work done, so it's okay. But I'm really trying to get to getting up at 5 a.m. But it means I have to go to sleep early. So I don't know. I'm not used to going to sleep early. I'm used to staying up. But I'm getting there. I think last night I went to sleep at like 10 or 11-ish, which was good. So I think that's why I woke up early. So it really is like a balance. I don't know. We'll figure it out, and it'll get there. Yeah, so I'm just gonna read like what else I wrote. So, at first the books I was writing was more of what I liked than what God, and I'm trying to switch it around. So yeah, so now I'm putting God first and front center, and none of my books I will will ever make anyone feel despair. Like that's one thing I want to make sure. There's a lot of horror or like mystery or like books that kind of make people feel sad or depressed or like hopeless in life. No, we're not doing that. We're gonna do a book. And despite all the disasters, because my book is going to be dramatic. I'm going to have, like, freaking crazy things going on. It's going to be dark and scary. But despite all that, like, there's going to be hope. Like, 100%, despite all of the craziness in these stories, like, the focus is hope. Like, there is going to be hope. There is going to be God in my books. And there's going to be love and, good things in the stories, okay? And we're not focusing on the evil, okay? Yes, there will be evil. There has to be. It's life. But, in life, just like in life, you focus on the good. In the books, I'm going to focus on the good too. And there will be hope for sure, despite all of the craziness. So, yeah. And I also put, I don't want to reread it because I already talked about it, but I'll just read it. Some stories, a lot of my stories take place in the far future, and Revelations, the book of Revelations in the Bible, gives me a better idea of the end times. Oh, is that all I'm going to talk about? I surprised myself. Okay, yeah, so I guess that's it. That's all I'm gonna talk about for this podcast episode. I'll catch you guys up later, or we'll see what's popping next week. I'll let you guys know what I'm starting on Sunday for the next week, and hopefully it'll be more progress. All in God's timing. And yeah, I'll pray now since I started it last episode, so I'm gonna do it again. Okay, so let's just see. Lord Jesus, I just want to say thank you so much for this wonderful day, for getting me up early, for giving me this day, Lord. I want to thank you for the time, and thank you for being there with me and helping me on making, all my dreams come true in your way, Lord, for giving me patience and self-control, and for bringing my friends to church with me. That was really fun, Lord. I had a great time with that, God, and I pray for anyone who needs healing, Lord, and just to be with them in their toughest times, and that you give people hope in this life, that a lot of people feel like there is no hope, where they feel like they're in despair, where they see all the craziness and dangers in life and all the horrible things happening, and it takes over. But God, you show us that we trust in you and not in what the world creates, not in the evil and all the craziness that's going on, God, that we trust in you, and that we trust in you, and that's all I'm gonna say because I love you. In the name of Jesus, amen. So yeah, that's my prayer. Every time I pray, I feel like I 100% like give all my trust and all my life to him. So I do cut it short. It is very simple. I hope to pray longer and like more like praising prayer, but yeah, that's my prayer for today. And a lot of it's on the spot, so I just, whatever comes to mind, I just pray about. And I will always say thank you, like 100%. Like my prayers are always very thankful, because I'm very thankful about the life I have. And I love my parents, I love my sister, I love my family, and I care about my friends, and I love them and everyone around me. Anyone that come into my life, like, I do care about them. Like, I worry, sometimes if they don't know God, like, I worry about them. I want them to know God, and for them to have that, because without God, like, for me in my life, I would just be in despair. I'd be out there crazy. I'd be crazy. I'm already crazy as I am now. Imagine if I didn't have God, I'd be out there like a psychopath. I'd be a serial killer. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I hope the joke was funny. I'm just making stuff up. But thank you for listening. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.